This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity Podcast, the Becker Business Minute Podcast. The title of this podcast is Chairman Powell Told Them It Was Coming. So we're in this fascinating situation where Chairman Powell, over the last couple of years, has been extremely clear to the market that he intends to keep on raising rates to fight inflation. Notwithstanding this, a lot of banks got caught with longer duration holdings that led them to have horrendous paper losses at a time when rates were going up, because they're holding bonds and treasuries that yield 3 or 4%. And when treasuries go up, those longer term duration treasuries go down in value. So the concept is no Fed chair has ever done a better job of telegraphing to the market what he plans to do with interest rates. And notwithstanding this, either a lot of unintelligent managers or a lot of young managers got caught in a situation where they didn't quite understand what would happen to their bond holdings in a rising rates environment. Kevin O'Leary says as well that essentially Silicon Valley Bank engaged in what he calls idiot management. And I essentially couldn't agree more. Anyone with an internet and any experience knew that they had to keep their bond duration portfolio relatively short in a period of time when rates were rising so much. I myself, just an internet, literally based on the internet and knowing what I know and the history of having taken bond losses over the last several decades when rates have risen, knew I had to get awfully short over the last couple of years. So my average duration was 1.1 year, 1.2 years, 1.3 years. And again, it may be careful and safe, but we clearly knew this was coming. So when people say that Silicon Valley has all these different excuses, federal regulators are to blame, or they blame somebody else, at the end of the day, there's two things. Fed Chairman Powell told them this was coming, and they should have known how to manage their portfolio, given that he telegraphed to them exactly what he was going to do. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Podcast, the Becker Business Minute Podcast.